Perfecto. Hey everyone, Coach Logan here. This is going to be a breakdown on what my training is. From a zoomed out perspective, I'm training 6 days per week. I'm doing a squat day, a pull day with biceps. I'm doing a press day, a hinge day with triceps, and then I'm doing additional shoulders, calves, and all that stuff in with a lunge day. And then any additional things I want to work on that's not sore. That's what I'm doing. That gets cycled through twice per week. That same plan. So for today, we're going to walk through the squat pulling. So for the first movement, it was back squats. I haven't done free barbell back squats in the longest time. So getting a full depth squat, knees are driving out and forward over the toes, trying to maintain that vertical chest position best I can. Very few reps here, 135, felt tough. Just my body getting used to it, especially with that spinal loading, just getting reacclimated to that position. We're in the lifters, the pink ones, for good range of motion, making sure that I'm getting good depth on those squats. Moving on to the lying bicep curls. For this, setting up in a position that allows for the dumbbells to slightly touch. My chest is staying upright. As I extend out, I am reaching for my heels, allowing a good stretch, exposing the bicep to all the tension, especially at the bottom there. I'm trying to wiggle, get myself into a good position there to figure out where I needed my feet to be. Then for my feet, once I had a good position there, it was easy to grind through some reps. So full extension, reaching out as far as I can, getting a good stretch to the biceps. I like doing this with a little bit of more of a higher rep range. It feels a little bit better on the biceps themselves, being able to get a good connection with my biceps, as well as having my shoulders in a good position and not overloading them so much. So just had 17 and a halves here, nothing too crazy. I do short out the top of the rep there, top portion of the rep, because there's no work actually being done, and then I died. For the next movement, this is a slightly inclined, same idea. What I'm trying to do here is keep the elbows forward, keep the biceps with tension on them throughout the entire movement. So the back supported allows for, or any of these seated bicep positions allows for the spine to not be loaded. It's a lot more beneficial, a lot more stimulus to fatigue for what you're trying to accomplish for the movements. So when you're going through trying to gain hypertrophy, what you're trying to do is stimulate the muscle. So using as little weight as possible to stimulate the muscle is the job here. If you're doing strength training, you may need to progressively overload, add a little bit more weight, try to get stronger, mostly focusing on speed there. But for hypertrophy training, you're trying to focus on the specific muscles to get the stimulus to there and not have as much fatigue accumulating from the lifting itself. So from here, I went from that forward position to mechanical drop set where I extend down my shoulder back. So at the bottom position, there actually is no tension. So it's basically a little bit of a rest to go into my next rep, but still milking that eccentric portion. So trying to go slow. And then the last one is to be sitting up straight perfectly. So still allowing those elbows to be pushing forward a little bit at the front, putting the tension through the bicep. This is a good drop set if you want to try it. Mechanical drop set. Start with the hardest position mechanically, then go into less, then a little bit less. And then by the end, you're done. Supersetted that with some cyclist air squats. Knees tracking as far forward in front of the toes as possible. Torso stays completely vertical. Doing this on a 45-pound plate here, trying to figure out the width and the stance that I needed that to be. Then figuring out what stretch position felt like for me. Then I decided to cut out the top part of the rep, so it's basically 2/3 up, and then going down. Eventually I'll get to a point of failure. Constant tension throughout the entire movement, not allowing for much of a rest at any point in time. My hamstrings are on my calves. I can't get physically any lower than this, and that puts the maximum stretch on the quadriceps, especially in that bottom position where you need it. And then I try to get out of it, and I decide maybe I'm gonna do a few more. So it's a cluster set or a myo set. Do as many as I can, rest a few seconds, let a little bit of fatigue, and then the next few reps I do the same thing again. Just allows for you to get another effective set in. For the pull-ups, I'm using grips here. I can hang on to the pull-up bar for a while, yes, but I don't want my pull to be limited by my grip, which it definitely would be by the end of this, especially because that is supersetted. What is that? That's not English. That's terrible words. Set it in a superset with lateral raises. Overhead lateral raises will show you that mechanical drop set. But for here on the pull-ups, the eccentric is low. The eccentric is slow. There's a good stretch in that bottom position. I try to not bottom it out, just get a good stretch best I can. So there is control through the entire motion here. Pink shoe is still intact. Don't worry. I know you guys were concerned, but I do have my pink, blue, pink going. Was it a Wednesday? No, I don't think it was a Wednesday. This is actually on a Thursday, but you wear pink any day, doesn't matter. And slow and low. If you can do a lot of pull-ups, try it this way. If you can't do a lot of pull-ups, just try the slow way. Just do the slow on the way down, hop up, get your chin over the bar. All good options here. For the lateral raise, the overhead lateral raises, I was going to use the straps at first, but it felt funky, so I didn't use the straps, but they're still slow. I reach up, trying to touch the dumbbells at the top, and then slow on the way down for about a 3 to 4 second count. Not pausing in the bottom, getting a good range of motion at the top. My right shoulder's doing this weird thing. It's a little higher. You can see like the trap stays weird. Anyways, working on it. We're all working on things. No one's perfect. And once I was able to max out my ability to do the overhead, I did some partials of full overhead, but they're technically just lateral raises at this point, just to the top of my head, and did, of course, another myo set, cluster set, whatever, rest pause set. I just wanted to do more, so I rested, did like 5 to 10 seconds, got my breath, and did some more. Lastly, for funsies, because I was completely warmed up, did some kipping muscle ups on the rings. So big kip, hips drive, they pop up, and then you sit over the top of the ring, supporting yourself into a dip and press out. Did these for a few. If you watch CrossFit or no CrossFit, this is very much in there. This isn't like gymnastics. Those guys do it straight, they do it strict, but this is kipping just for funsies at the end of the workout. Bam, dismount. That was the training that I had this week. It's going to be something like that a week from now. Regardless, what I do is I pick movement patterns. I don't like to work out with my phone. I have some anchor movements that I try to get better at constantly. So that's the bicep curls, that's the pull-ups, that's some type of squat, some type of leg press, maybe, whatever. Each movement pattern, each muscle, to at least track the fact that I am getting better at one of these things. But then I will just use a level of effort. So never really going towards failure unless I'm going to be deloading or taking some time off, but approaching failure 2 to 3 reps from failure, or using some myo match sets to get more sets towards that point. If I'm sore, if I'm getting a pump, those are all the things that are informative to me that I'm doing better. If I'm increasing weights based off of those anchor sets, then I'm doing better. I don't like to use my phone. I don't like to have headphones. I like to be present in the moment. I like to feel the movement, and I just like to lose myself within the exercises. So that's the reason I exercise. There's nothing I really do specifically for tracking for anything other than being slightly aware of the movements that I'm doing periodically. Hopefully you guys gleaned some type of intent or understanding for my programming from this, or got some form cues. Great supersets to try. What they were was the back squat with the lying bicep curl. Then there's the cyclist squat with the more inclined bicep curl, and then the pull up with the lateral raise, and then some muscle ups for fun at the end. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. If you like these types of videos, I can do more of the exercises, or if you even want more detailed dives into what considerations we do for programming, let me know. I can do a video that just nerds out on why we choose things, why we progress things, and all that stuff. But leave any questions and comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Check out the shorts for more form help. Until next time, see ya.